Hey there, Adrienne Elise here. Welcome to the SuperNova Astrology Update for August 18th through 25th, 2025. Well, wow, the energy is so intense. This last week we've been feeling Venus and Jupiter together in the sky, a bright and beautiful light like a Christmas star coming together in the early morning, bringing us hope for the new world that we've been building, supernova souls. Thank you so much. So this Venus-Jupiter conjunction in Cancer is epic, and it caused the Schumann resonance to go off the charts for a full week of a whiteout. This is high frequency energies coming in, the amplification. Jupiter expands, and Venus is love itself. The blessing of Venus, the light that comes from Venus, and the light that comes from Jupiter together in the sky is about reminding us who we really are. There's so much more than this world and so much more than this body. And yet this body is a precious piece of Mother Earth. We are Gaia. And so life in a body as higher consciousness should be an ecstatic experience. And so this is how we step up into New Earth. It's like we've created it, but we haven't quite found permission to establish ourselves there. And that's what this next 6 months is about. So we're coming up into eclipse season. This Virgo new moon that's happening on Saturday, August 23rd, is happening at 0 degrees of Virgo, right when the sun moves over. This is so powerful because Virgo is like the earthiest earth sign, and because it represents earth and yet a mutable sign, which is the changeable quality, the healer, the organizer, the making it right and good and true. This is Virgo wants to clean it up. And so we know that the earth in our consciousness needs to get cleaned up, and that's what we've been doing. So there's just so many messages coming through. But this Virgo new moon this weekend is at 0 degrees Virgo, is starting the energy of eclipse season, because the eclipses happen every 6 months, and they happen when the sun and the moon line up to the nodes of the moon. The nodes of the moon are just points in space, but it's where the orbit of the sun and the moon intersect. So it's about timelines, it's about alignment, it's about time itself, slowing down time, adjusting time, getting back in alignment where we really want with where we really want to go. Because the north node is how are we going to get to where we're going? The south node is what's keeping us back from the past. So the eclipses are this lining up of the sun and the moon and the nodes, and it's destiny. And it's also about revealing, because the eclipses, of course, cover and then reveal. So it's like our next chapter can be revealed to us if we're in a place to receive. And this next chapter is very powerful because on the 2nd of September, Saturn will be moving back into the sign of Pisces. Saturn is retrograde now and has been in Aries, just completed on the 16th, exact conjunction. The first exact conjunction of Saturn and Neptune at 1 degree Aries. Incredibly powerful messages. It's like you just can't miss a message of this. Saturn, our reality, time, construct, planet, laws and rules, and Neptune, the dreamer, coming together at 1, right? So this is about joining timelines together, which is really about us supernova souls going up and picking up all of the parts of ourselves. Because what happened is that we know that we have a oneness in the true human soul consciousness. And that oneness is, we're called to be really conscious of what the true human organic original souls are going through in our connection, because our connection is her body and her body is our body. And so this is Saturn and Neptune coming together is like an activation of the original dream, because Aries is the true potential for humanity. It is about standing up into what's possible, the I am consciousness, everything. And so we, at 1 degree Aries, Saturn and Neptune, are establishing a new timeline reality based on the original dream. But we also have to face the delusions of the Piscean age. And so that's where we get to this tricky business of the zigzagging back and forth energy we're doing with Saturn and Neptune both moving back into Pisces in this year, later this year, and then coming back into the Aries at the beginning of 2026. So that's really when we're going to be able to fully move forward with action, direction, and new structures that can support our work in the Aquarian age. So this is kind of our timeline, and that makes this eclipse season a very powerful marker, because this eclipse season is our final preparation for when we can move and act in the world in the way our life wants to be. This is the organic original dream, okay? This is the mandate of the structured water, of the primary water, of health itself, of the vital force that keeps all in balance in our bodies and in the physical realm. And so the mandate is that the wastes are removed and that the cells, the materials, the energy of the organism is invited to become what it wants to become, what it's meant to become. And supernova souls, we've been so lost because we're so fractured. So it looks like this picture of our whole soul group, all of true human soul consciousness has been fractured, you know? And it's like we as supernova souls have been fractured and cut into pieces, basically, because of traumatic past lives and all of the things we've gone through in targeting to keep us from ever coming into our memory and actualization of the ancient technologies, which we've already worked with and in bodies on Earth. So it's ours. We own it. Mother Earth owns the technologies. We own the technologies, because this is the deal, okay? The pyramids, this is so getting activated right now as we attempt to move over into the Aquarian age and trigger all of the lies and hidden truths about our history and technology. So the master builder race built the pyramids, and these pyramids are all over the world. There's so many of them, you never know. They're just hidden under the ground in mountains. And so in these stargates, they were meant to be for ascension and supporting human evolution and to communicate with Mother Earth and stargate travel. But then this planet was breached and taken over during Atlantean time, and those technologies began to be used for destructive purposes. So those technologies began to be used to control the weather and create catastrophes and blame it on Mother Earth. See how it's all connected? That if we're going to take back our technologies, it's freeing Mother Earth. If we're going to free Mother Earth, we got to take back our technologies. Now, I feel like we already did this. We already took back the pyramids, and then they had to put a grid up. Do you know what I mean? Then they had to put up towers and harp and all this other stuff. And so we are understanding that nothing's working. And this is kind of the message from Mother right now. She's like, New Earth is here, our new reality, your new possibility to step into your potential and walk that true path of what your life, your soul wants to be. But it's not quite available for everyone yet. And we've got Stockholm syndrome. It's like, really? Is it okay? How do we reprogram? How do we heal the PTSD so that we can walk forward in confidence? You know, we're the activating energies of this Jupiter and Venus together is so beautiful, but the effect of it on our energy field was quite traumatic, because it's just like so much energy moving, and when energy starts to move, that's the vital force moving, then you have symptoms. You know, then when the energy moving in any true health, you're going to have symptoms showing you that disease is leaving the body. And that's what's happening. We have to remind ourselves that this is a healing crisis, right? So the darkness has been here a long time, and the distortion and the disease, but now it has to show itself as it's leaving, you know, it's blooming. And yet we are less and less affected as we come back into this advanced technology, our own energy field in our own body. If you're struggling with feeling under attack on any level, the Owning Your Energetic Field course is your key to having your sovereignty. Now, talking about sovereignty, the earth is claiming her sovereignty, and we are helping her do that. If her body is her body and we're advanced souls in her consciousness, then if we claim our autonomy and sovereignty in our field, she's claiming it in her field too. See the beautiful work we're doing together? And all the while feeling disconnected, unsupported, unreceived, rejected. And I am so sorry it's been so hard for you, Supernova Soul. And yet you have shown up again and again with love, even through the abuse, you know? And now we have to dig deeper for more love and more compassion, because we're at the end game and we got a bloom of monsters and we have to just settle in. Now, this is the thing, is that the energy of like new earth being created, our old original earth, like getting back to what we really want to be. But can we step into it? Can we vibrate at that frequency? Can we give ourselves permission to take the chances on making the changes in our life that can align us with that path? So you can see how this eclipse season, the timing of this eclipse season, is really, really important. And especially in looking at the past, because the North Node is in Pisces, and the North Node is how are we going to get to go forward, but we're coming out of the Piscean age. So we can only go forward when we clean up the past. So we've got to get these delusions cleared up around the technology, whether it's ours or whether it belongs to the controlling AI destructive forces. Is it mother's or is it theirs? You know, like, whose earth, whose world is this? And we stand with her. And every time you put a boundary with the monsters around you, you stand with her. And thank you for being here. Thank God you're here. What would we do without you? Can you stand strong in this and walk forward in this knowing? So, but we haven't been able to do this with confidence because we've been so messed up on our psyche, and from past lives and this life of who knows what's been done to us. And so, but what's happening now is like, as new earth is formed, we're landing home as who we are. And are we landing new earth as we land home as who we are, incarnating our body right here with her? And so, but as this happens, the strength you're going to find, the confidence, the lining up, it's like our chakras have been like this, all deranged. And it's like, and landing home and being like, wait, I feel in my body. I'm here. This is the timeline correction, is singularity from the fractured soul, you know? But I think people have the wrong idea that it's like, oh, we're all one and we're just going to go back to that. And it's like, no, we went through this whole thing so we could be really strong in our individuated soul, because Supernova Soul, you're in God training, you know? You're a co-creator. And that's why it's like, you have this whole chapter that is, you know, of miracles and magic that hasn't been able to occur. It's been stolen from you lifetime after lifetime. And this time we're taking it back. This time we're fully going to do the miracles. We have to. And that's the time we're in, because Saturn going back into Pisces is like going back into the dark ages, the end degrees of Pisces and the dungeon after being in Aries. And it's like, oh, I thought I was done cleaning up messes. I thought I was done taking on the garbage. I thought I was done being the codependent, like, fixer, healer, like, save the world. I thought I was over with that, you know? It's like, oh no. But it's a different level, because when Saturn moves back into Pisces, he's going to go into the Grand Trine in October and November with Jupiter and Black Moon Lilith. So Jupiter and Saturn, what's going on in our lives right now is that we're recovering from the Jupiter square Saturn, which happened in June. And that was the final square of Jupiter and Saturn. And that is a generational time marker. You know, it happens every 20 years, that first square, but those squares would, those transits of squares and oppositions happen every 5 years. So it's a 5-year marker, it's a 20-year marker, it's a 200-year marker, because we're moving into the age of the new Renaissance with the Saturn Jupiter conjunctions now happening in air signs for the next 200 years. So all of this is getting activated right now at the same time where we're blooming back into the Pisces energy. But Saturn in Pisces making the Grand Trine with Jupiter says we're out of the square, and now we got to harmonize what's happened in our lives from the square, But this all is a time of preparation for when Saturn and Neptune move back into Aries in the beginning of 2026. So we want to pay very special attention to this eclipse season this next 6 months, because it's our preparation to literally take flight into that new life, the life we're meant to live. Now we have support in this. Part of the intensity of this last week was Mars coming in the opposition with Saturn and Neptune. Oppositions are a challenge. Saturn and Neptune, it's birthing a new world, new reality based on the original dream, and clearing up the old delusions. And the focus is on the I am consciousness, the full potential. That we're not here to be slaves or to just run around in a meat suit. We're here to evolve. And the world is here to help us evolve. Mother Earth was created to help us evolve spiritually, and it got taken over and hijacked, and it's all part of the story, but now we go back to the original dream. And so Saturn coming into opposition with these is a challenge. And Mars in Libra is saying, Mars coming into opposition with Saturn and Neptune in Aries and at the early degrees of Libra, it's a new start and a whole bunch of hope around coming together in collaboration, around creating peace, Mother's garden, and justice. Mars wants to fight. In Libra, he wants to fight for justice, for what's right and good and true. And isn't it about time somebody did? Where's our masculine? We all have masculine and feminine within us, right? We've been healing and tending to the feminine and doing the best we can. But the masculine inside of us, this is the part we're missing as far as being able to have that confidence, that lining up of our chakras, our being able to move forward and stand for the world we want. We will not tolerate. We need boundaries now. Mother has sovereignty. That means we're not going to allow the criminals to run our world anymore. So who's going to run our world? And so this is where we're at, and the next 6 months is literally like the flip of that, where it's like, okay, you guys, the new leaders, the new systems, like those, they got to fall into place, right? But the thing is that this is what Mother is saying too, like, don't forget that it's already created. These seeds of what you're going to be working on and the people you're going to be working with, that is already established, like so strong. It's not as specific, it can be flexible in how it plays out. But we have worked for lifetimes in the little moments we could come together and plant seeds for this time now, to build the temple. The body is a temple. And now we know that our body's her body, so Earth is the temple, isn't it? Earth must be a temple now, not only for, alignment with Mother and the advancement of human consciousness in its evolution back to source, So we're getting all of this worked out, freeing prison planet. And the Earth has been freed. Venus, Jupiter was kind of like, boom, the Earth has been freed, but can we walk in it? Can we step in it? Are we too much in the messes of the past to be able to see our way out of, the way it's been? So these are our challenges right now. And I think that the Mercury retrograde, Mercury is now direct, and we'll be coming out of retrograde shadow on the 25th. So we got one more week of retrograde shadow. And we know Mercury's coming into his third and final square with Black Moon Lilith. And that is very powerful, because the third pass, when you get transits 3 times, of course, the third time is the charm. And so that third time is when you get the message, when you get the impetus, when you can move forward, because now Mercury's direct, and take action on what's happened and on what's come forward. And so we've been looking at this Mercury in Leo, square Black Moon Lilith and Scorpio, is where's the hidden darkness in our subconscious, in our collective soul. It's like our collective soul was taken over and fractured and broken and kept in distress. And so we got to find these programming and this belief systems and the shadowy stuff that's inside of each of us and expose it. Like, what is in the way of stepping in full confidence into our light supernova souls? Now is the time. We know it is. What is in the way? What is still hidden, making us feel scared, uncertain, and the world is coming around to us, but I think we might have to step forward in that process. We can't wait for them to come around, then we move. They come around as we move. Okay, so this is where we're it's just so dynamic. And I think a lot of it has to do with this, or is explained or clarified by this eclipse season. And so Mercury is going to be in that third and final square with Black Moon Lilith. The pressure is on to figure out what's keeping us from the life we want to live. And we don't know what life we want to live, right? Because we've been so fractured and broken. And that's the cool thing about Mother and the original dream, the original codes. She's got it. She's got the picture of our most amazing idea of what this should be. See, this is the importance. You as a visionary has been holding this. You know how special it is that you can see pictures in your mind, that you can visualize, you can imagine, you can hold an idea of something different. Because if you weren't here doing that this whole time, we would be lost into the AI consciousness. And so it's so, so important that we stay in the imaginal realm with Saturn and Neptune. Now, Saturn and Neptune just had that exact from the 1st to the 16th at 1 degree Aries, and then they're going to not come, they'll stay close, but not come back together to exact until February. And so this is our creating the life we want to see, which isn't our ego, right? This is why we had to go through all this crap and ego death. So we know that we're creating from a place of alignment with Mother, where our original dream of what we want to become, not some idea of what some other people or the outside world would like us to be, or that would make us feel like we fit in, or anything for out there, right? It's got to be. So this is where it's like my mission, my purpose, and I care about this, and I have all these skills. But we kind of have to set that all aside, because we are massively skilled, and we've got all the certificates, we've done all these things, we have all this experience, especially our past lives, right? But we want to create that from that alignment of the original dream, of the optimal expression of what we came here as souls to do and be in this incarnation. And that's what this time is about. So the Black Moon Lilith square, we're going to start feeling that this week, and then it will resolve by the end of August. So the rest of August is kind of this like what needs to be revealed about, and maybe that's what it's almost like what we're going to be chewing on and working on during eclipse season. What needs to be revealed, showing us this next couple of weeks, the last 2 weeks of August, because it's like the tension of Black Moon Lilith and the darkness and the scary, the fear around our light and power. But the third and final pass with Mercury going direct is it giving way, the darkness giving way, one way or another. This darkness got to give, and thanks to you guys. And this is literally what's happening. And so it's intense energy with Mercury and Leo because of the pressure to express ourselves in our light, and we have not been able to do it. And so supernova souls are feeling it. And then it will be a really big shift of energy when Mercury moves over into Virgo on September 3rd. The sun is going to move to Virgo here on the 23rd for that Virgo new moon at 0 degrees, 23 minutes. So powerful. 2 and 3 is 5. It's a spoke on the wheel. It's action, making it happen, a new way, a new vision, a new path. And 0 point, right? Like we're teetering on the edge. Just the absolute confirmation that's like, well, gotta go make sure. The reason why we have to go back to the Piscean age is because we didn't get the miracles yet. We didn't retrieve the miracles. We were persecuted and punished for bringing miracle energy. And so we're clearing up the programming around fear, punishment, but we haven't taken back the miracles. and display them in the world. That's what has to happen. But in order to receive a miracle, you need to have a need for a miracle. And that's kind of what's playing out in the world. But this Saturn in Pisces is really that, because Saturn going back into that Grand Trine with Jupiter and Black Moon Lilith, it's like, no, this is about magic, you know? Like this is about retrieving the technologies we're talking about. It's all good and fine. Say, wait, we had free energy already. We had levitation already. We built these stuff, and now we're trapped in this total, inappropriate dimension that's completely uncomfortable, but haven't we busted out? Aren't you feeling better? I mean, the world is weird right now, but I know you're feeling better in your being, having more access to the power within you. That's your power. We have been gifted this power, this energy. And that's another reason for the Owning Your Energetic Field course. It's like, no, I don't want to feed. I don't want to play host to the parasites. I don't want to feed the parasites. I don't want to let these monster people come over and hook into my energy field. No, because mom gave it to me to hold precious. How can we expect her? She holds us precious. She loves us so much. But how can we receive that feeling and connection if we don't hold precious the body we've been given by her? This is the absolute key to our future, is pristine health, pristine and beautiful health. And it's going to be so glorious because we have the power of our field. So the Owning Your Energetic Field can give you that sovereignty where you know you're not leaking your energy out. Then you can work with the energy in your body and heal yourself and co-create, and really move forward. And as you strengthen your energy field, the picture that I'm getting to encourage some of you that are feeling really attacked right now, because that's what's going on, but we're getting also stronger in being able to hold our space. There's an energy of feeling like just something, almost like being able to identify an energy. We haven't been able to do this before, like kind of like a slime on our field, and this could be like a pathogen, could represent that, or an energy, a psychic energy, and a vibration, and it's like, okay, well, now it's a feel, it's I can feel it, it's in my field, it's there. And then I feel the energy and the power of my field, and it's almost like you can peel that off. Like, oh, okay, well, that was an impression from outside, but I'm not accepting it. I'm not accepting that disease because I'm with Mother in pristine health. And you are alive right now because you have remembered cellular regeneration. This has been a test for us, I don't know. That's a rabbit hole. Let me know what you think about that. But the energy of this time with this Mercury coming out of retrograde and moving into eclipse season, and we've got that Venus-Jupiter massive activation of the love of Mother Earth. The kite, then we have this kite. Mars came into the opposition with Saturn and Jupiter, and then Saturn and Neptune. And Saturn and Neptune are in sextile to Uranus in Gemini, and also in sextile to Pluto in Aquarius. And this makes the Charlie Brown kite shape. So it's Mars moving in Libra that gives the kite its shape, to completes the kite. And so we have 3 kites, and we have in September, we're going to have Mercury coming into the kite, and then in October, Venus will be making the kite. So we have 3 times. The third time's the charm. Click your heels 3 times. We're going home, lifting up out of the delusion reality of what was the Wizard of Oz really about? Financial slavery. And we're revealing that man behind the curtain. So we're taking back all of the resources of Earth, all the money that has been stolen from us. Everything that's been stolen must be returned. It's all recorded. They didn't want us to have the records, our own Akashic records. And then with so much fear programming in our field, you might have access to those records and past life memories, but you might block them because of the fear programming, right? Like, no, I can't handle knowing that information, when that information is going to set you free. This is why the past life stuff is so powerful, because most of the time when we're walking through our life, you know, when you have those things, and this is so common right now because we're doing so much karmic work so fast, but you're like, what is going on here? This situation does not make sense. This dynamic is way out of proportion to what the situation is. It doesn't seem like it has anything to do with what this is. It's because there's a parallel lifetime right there with a whole different story that's stronger than your current story and informing. Until you get that story, it's like you're stuck over there, but you can't do anything about it. And so this is what we're doing. We're retrieving the stories, the information, who we are, our gifts and skills, putting ourselves all back together, you know, and it's beautiful. And it feels like that's really what the Aquarian age is sovereignty, Earth's sovereignty and our own sovereignty. So I think that these are the issues around the eclipse season. So this week we're going to be feeling that Mercury square, coming into that square with Black Moon Lilith, moving forward in the coming out of retrograde shadow, the third pass over these Leo placements. It's like shine, 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 shine. You don't get to stop and wonder what anybody's going to react or anything like that. Just, you don't have a choice. You just have to express. It's not about that specific thing we came here to do, although that will play out. It's about expressing what's inside of us. And we don't know what that is because we don't know who we are. But the astrology says, it's like, yes, we're lifting up into a new timeline, to a new reality. But the reality of that is that it's supernovas landing home as who they really are, whole and complete in their body. And that's the healing of the fractured collective human soul consciousness. Thank you so much for being here. So profound what we've done, and I honor you. So let's talk about this Virgo new moon, 0 degrees. We're zero, Earth is reborn. 2 and 3, 23, very sacred number, you know, because we're talking about DNA and we're talking about there's a metaphorical energy in Yeshua and the 12 disciples, and there was actually, they were couples, and so that would be 24, but it's actually 23 and him, right? So 23 is activation of Christ consciousness and of owning it fully and completely, an incarnation of it, an activation of it, using this energy, which is just source life, energy, life force. That's all we're talking about here, but we've been cut off from our source. We're saying Christ consciousness, we're saying, no, our energy that's ours, that has been stolen, and now it's retrieved. But then it's like, of course, if you're going to go and take back what's stolen, and the narrative is that you caused destruction with it. We didn't. They did. But you can't handle it. It's not safe, right? So we got to overcome all that fear. So every time, what happened with the Schumann graph and the whole activation of Earth this last week is like, every time you bump up in frequency, then you have to sort through those. It's a new level of fear and shame programming around your light, right? You can't find it until you step into your power. You know, and so each level of stepping into your power, you're going to find a new level of fear and shame programming trying to keep you from it. What happens if we just do it? That's what this says. Astrology says you get to just do it now. But it's like, really? Really? Okay, how do I, what am I doing? And that's what this next 6 months is about. So the Virgo new moon is activating this eclipse season. And it's very powerful at that 0 degree marker because it's holding space for new Earth and also teetering on the edge, right? We're not going back into the dungeon, but we're gonna go into we're gonna have to go get our miracles and healing and higher technologies, you know, spiritual magic, Christ consciousness back. So we're just hooking back up. Now, this is the energy of the rest of the year too, because the main transit we're going to be feeling so intensely later in the year is Jupiter square Chiron. So Jupiter in Cancer square Chiron, and that will be happening from, we'll feel the energy of that from October through the end of the year. And Jupiter in Cancer expanding into the mother. And Chiron, the wounds of where we've given our power away. So that's our definitive marker where we're take back. You know, it's like, okay, well, we know we won, but how do we take back what's ours, right? How do we get them to give it back, surrender, and relinquish? Because they will not. You know, we have to be strong. We have to know we deserve. We have to know we can handle it. We have to prove to ourselves that we can operate this level of technological consciousness. And that's what this time is about. So that new moon is a marker for this adjustment. The nodes are in mutable signs, which are adjuster signs, and so it's a time. This whole next year is about adjusting, and this 6 months. So let's look at these eclipses. The first eclipse is a total lunar eclipse, and this is on September 7th at 29 degrees of Virgo, the very end of Virgo. I mean, and the culmination, a complete healing of Earth, right? So we've got this Virgo new moon at 0 degrees Virgo, and then we've got the 0 degrees 23 minutes, and then the total partial solar eclipse will be at 29. So the very beginning and the very end of Virgo, and it says new Earth has been created. Can we get to it? Can we own it? Can we live it? Can we breathe it? And I think it's so fascinating that the total lunar eclipse on the 7th happens at 15 degrees Pisces, right in the middle, and 23 minutes. So another 23, and it happens on the 23rd. So we have 3 23s, which is 555. And that's like loud and clear, let's go. And so it's go time on claiming back the miracles in order to completely heal and create new Earth. So, but then the partial solar eclipse on September 21st is at 29 degrees, 5 minutes of Virgo. So another 5. And so we are looking at really moving the wheel now. The spoke is on the wheel, right? We had to create new Earth. That's 4 energy. And now 5 is like, start the motor, right? And that Venus Jupiter was like, oh yeah, like, the energy, just pull it, yank it, right? Let's go. Ripcord, let's go. Come on. And so that is really powerful. And then we have that kind of culmination energy this fall of Jupiter square Chiron, where you say, no, Mother does win. It's her world, and we are taking back the resources, and we're going to overcome the wounds, and we're going to stand tall, and we're going to be willing. No, we can move forward. And that is going to go all the way through January. So, but at the same time that Jupiter is square Chiron, Jupiter is in the Grand Water Trine with Black Moon Lilith and Saturn. So it's like, yeah, no, this is all harmonized. We're turning the wheel of time, but it's like not a stuck engine motor. It's a water wheel, and it's beautiful, and it's sparkling and flowing, and everything's clean and nice. And we're going to do it new and the way it's meant to be now, you know, churning the waters of Earth, structuring them into their original purity, into the original dream, you know, is activating Mother Earth, waking up and waking up in our life. The life force energy returned, you know. So many people have been walking around half dead for these last 5 years or more. And what is the point, she says? Live with me. Be with me. She wants us in mutual reciprocity with her. Doesn't it make sense that the source in the physical reality of all we need, that we would want to be in connection to that source? And again, how can we receive the connection, the gifts, the abundance? It's like, she's got us. Mom's got us. She loves us so much, but how can we receive that if we don't feel worthy? So the Black Moon Lilith in Scorpio is bringing forward anywhere in any lifetime that we feel we failed Mother Earth, which now we're realizing our soul consciousness is her. And we failed ourselves, we failed her. And we got a little bit more separate every time because that was the agenda, to separate us from our mother. So the key is for everything. And what must happen first before anything can get fixed is to come back into that connection with mother, you know, because it's like we're taking and receiving all these gifts to be able to survive with not even paying attention to her, that poor girl, that poor ignored girl that's giving us everything. And how long can that go on until she takes back her power? And she says, no, it is a privilege to live on me. It is a privilege to have access to this sacred form. It is a privilege to experience the joy, the ecstatic experience of life force flowing through your being, healing you instantly, and the people around you too. And when are we going to start to just, she's not even really wanting us to worship her or anything. She just wants to talk to us. She just misses us, her children. We're all lost, uncared for children. And our mom is missing us so much. And maybe she feels failed too. But it was us that turned away from her. We were tricked. I mean, if the pyramids were for Stargate technology and ascension and supporting humanity's spiritual evolution, and then all of a sudden they were used to trap as a prison planet and create destruction, they blamed it on Mother Earth. They said that she hurt us with the catastrophes. And then they blamed us in Atlantean time, that our power caused the catastrophes. It was power we were working with, but we didn't direct it that way. And so our soul essence, because we're so pure, so good, and so awesome, we say, I'm never going to do that again because I directed it. They're saying I directed it the wrong way and caused destruction, but it's a lie. They made a weapon out of your power and blamed you for the destruction. When are we going to wake up to this and just be like, enough is enough? Give back what is ours. And that's that Jupiter square Chiron energy. And yet the flow of the life force, the flow of our connection, the love we have of her holding our field, we're not scared anymore. You can't scare us with the weather anymore. You can't terrorize us with earthquakes and hurricanes anymore. No. All can come into balance with our consciousness. And that's what we've been displaying, you badass supernova souls, is that our consciousness is more powerful than all of their HARP millions and billions of dollars of facilities, hydro collider shit to try to keep us from being the hydro collider, And are we going to sit back and let this go on anymore? Because it's time to build an army. Are you with me? Are you with mom? We have to get to this place, where we can, I don't know, it's like we're being asked to recommit to her in order to keep our bodies, we have to fight for life. We need to be miracle healers to keep our bodies clean from the toxicity in the world. But when you're healing your body on that level, your field is so powerful that you affect the people around you. And is this what is going on? Oh my gosh. So the other thing that's happening is that Venus is coming, this week is intense in that Venus is coming to the end degrees of her time in Cancer. And so Venus in Cancer is very emotional, very sensitive. Venus, Jupiter, can I bloom into this? Is it okay? Will I be judged? Will I be raped? Will I be attacked? Will I be imprisoned? Will I be burned at the stake? Can I be in my glorious creation energy? Or is some other woman going to have a problem with that creation energy too, in competitive energy, which is actually masculine energy? We've got to allow the feminine fountain within each of us to bloom and blossom and flourish without competition. It's an overflowing cup. And the masculine can hold that cup. This is the Mars kite. And then Mercury will support the kite, and then Venus. Then we really take flight. The Venus kite is going to be October 14th. So the eclipses, we first got the total lunar eclipse on the 7th at the very middle degrees of Pisces. So that's about the reclaiming of the magic and what's the moon really about? And did we go to the moon? And how is about we find out about what NASA's really been up to, not a space agency? And where's all that money gone anyway? Building underground bunkers for the elite for when we all die off the surface? No, we're not going to let this happen. No, 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 no. What's here is here for all of us. And that is the energy of the Aquarian age. We've got to move into that. The Aquarian age is the collective, and respect for the individual expression in the as to honor the collective, and take care of the collective to take care of the individual. And so we have this complete flip. And doesn't it seem like this is the time that that's happening? Then the partial solar eclipse, very powerful, happening right on the equinox. Pretty much it looks like about 6 hours or so from 5 hours or 6 from the equinox, the exact equinox, 29 degrees Virgo, we are completing. So this new moon, it's like a new beginning for Earth, and then we're completing the cleanup of Earth is the energy of that partial solar eclipse on September 21st. And then that's a very powerful marker for the next 6 months, this eclipse season. And what are we going to do with it? How do we reclaim the miracle healing in our life? How do we get out of the dungeon of the Piscean age? You know, the South Node is in Virgo. So we as Earth healers got distracted, got disconnected, got into politics or something instead of staying connecting with the Earth, keeping the people with the Earth. You know, like, so we have to resolve all of this and forgive ourselves and apologize to Mother and ask her forgiveness and say, I want to come back in your fold. I want to walk with you. I want to feel you around me, and you will. That is the field. When you strengthen your energy field, it's Mother Earth. When you connect with Mother Earth, you're strengthening your field and her field. And the measurements of the electromagnetic field of Earth have been fluctuating greatly and low. And so it's up to us to fortify the electromagnetic field by talking with her and breathing with her. And maybe that's why her voice has gotten so intense. Her pleading, bring them home to me. I want to talk to them. I want to feel them, my children. We can't stay disconnected like this and go on and have the healthy society. You know, we've got to heal the mother wound in order to move forward in this evolution. And that's the energy of Jupiter square Chiron. You know, like, so healing the mother wound, taking back what's been stolen from us, and so that we can move forward in our true abundant expression. So Venus at the end degrees of Cancer is this emotional feeling about all of this, wanting to come back, wanting to be at home with Mother, wanting to be in her safe and sensitive place, and safe to feel her emotions and safe to feel her intuition. And then, but it's a bloom of that. So it's very emotional. There might be griefs, regrets, like it's a healing of this feeling of disconnection with Mother. Then Venus moves over into Leo on the 26th. That's the same day that Mercury's in that exact square with Black Moon Lilith. And so it's saying, oh, it's our feminine that needs to shine for us to be whole and complete, right? The feminine was called dark, but it's actually another sun. And so the feminine has to have full expression, the wisdom, feminine wisdom, masculine, divine masculine wisdom, and coming together across the divide, the collaboration. The Libra collaboration is what makes the kite fly. And so we're working on all of this. But Venus is coming to the end degrees of Cancer, might feel really emotional for this week, and then moving over. So Venus will be coming into a square with Chiron as a precursor to that Jupiter square Chiron. And so we're going to be feeling what that's like. What is this really about? You know, taking back our power, taking back our life force, and stepping back, expanding our connection back to Mother. And so Venus square Chiron in Cancer is bringing this all to the surface, and we start feeling that in a couple of days, and we'll feel it through the 25th. And so it's like the 22nd, 23rd, exactly for that Virgo new moon. Venus is in square to Chiron. And so Venus in Cancer, trying to come back into connection and mother, but in square to Chiron, those wounds of where our life force has been stolen, where we gave away our power, where we gave away our sovereignty. So it's a huge, big step this week in claiming sovereignty for our emotional, spiritual, intuitive self and the earth herself. And so keep up the great work. And then Venus will move over into Leo on the 26th and then come into a square with Pluto. Okay, so moving into Leo, the fixed sign, and square to Pluto in Aquarius. And so Venus is kind of going through. It's like, oh, square Uranus. Square Chiron, square Pluto. And so she's being challenged in her power. The feminine, this week, it feels like the feminine is feeling extra sensitive, emotional, and intuitive, disconnected, wanting connection, and yet challenged in whether it's her life force and power or whether we should give it to the monsters and the criminals, and whether or not she can handle her power and be the visionary leader that she wants to be and needs to be. You know, when we're talking about this feminine, a divine feminine visionary leader, it's male or female body, but it's leaders that are connected to their intuition and their emotional side, right? Whole human beings. That's this 1 degree Saturn Neptune, whole human beings. Can we go there? Because what if this whole fake human being thing of these NPCs or whatever, it's like they're fractured parts of us and we want it back. We did not give permission to be fractured. And if we did, I think we're going to revoke consent as of this moment right now. Hear me. So, that's the energy of this time. So intense Venus transits this week, but we've also got still feeling the top of that kite, Saturn, Neptune together in sextile to Pluto, in sextile to Uranus, just possibilities. And so an all at 1 degree, Saturn just moving to 0 degrees, and then a big shift with Saturn moving back into Pisces on the 2nd. So the big shifts, Venus into Leo, Mercury, the sun into Virgo, grounding out, getting focused, and then Saturn moving back into Pisces. So we're grounding out and getting focused on healing the Piscean age and retrieving the miracles, mysteries, and magic, and taking back what's ours. That's a huge energy with Uranus is at 1 degree Gemini, but we'll be moving back into the end degrees of Taurus, and that's really where we take back our wealth, where we understand the wealth, that we have the wealth of this world as nurturing caregivers. Mom wins in the end. It's her world. It's her resources. But isn't it glorious to walk with her in that? And to remind you of the message that she says that when you're aligned and you're in that place of love with her, you have authority around the cellular structure of those around you. And the miracles overflow. And the correction occurs. And the DNA, God code, is pristine. Like our new pristine earth. We are all, with every breath, can be made anew in her image. Because remember, she has the codes. We've got the codes too, but they've been doing everything to keep us and corrupt us from them. And so she can help us reset. And I think that's the energy. I hope you can join the Virgo new moon activation. It's Friday, the 22nd at 10 a.m. Mountain Time. And isn't it beautiful? I can just see this sparkly Virgo made clean in her image, reborn, our soul consciousness reborn, our bodies reborn, our earth reborn into purity. It's so beautiful. So I hope you can be there for these activations. Are so powerful because we're really taking advantage of the energy of the time of those new and full moons. That's when the astrology gets intense, the messages are lining up. And so that's when you can get the information, take advantage of these astrology's messages, right? Not just be victimized by them like traditional astrology. But it's like, no, these energies are inside of you, just like mother's inside of you, her body, our body. That's manifest. She's manifest, we're manifest, they're inside of us. We want to work with them. They can help us by understanding these dynamics. They want us to succeed and come back to the full true human as well. But we know Saturn was taken over and absconded, and physical reality was used as a trap. And so we're reworking all of that with the Saturn going back into Pisces into that Grand Trine. So that's the energy. This Virgo new moon, Saturn going back into Pisces. It's kind of like, oh, and Saturn will be um, there until February of 2026. We'll move back into Aries on the 15th. So, very beautiful Valentine's Day of let's get started with, you know, having now we have the support. Everything that was working against us is now working for us. And now we have the support of the universe to unfold these beautiful projects that we don't even know what they look like yet, but we have permission and support, and those that are against us the most right now might be the ones right behind us. So keep loving, keep breathing, keep loving. The energy of talking to the collective, our soul consciousness, and Mother Earth is that it's really just a lack of connection and love. And so when you can feel in your body, if you talk to Mother Earth, you say, I love you so much. Experience nature, bond with the living, use an animal or a plant or a rock to connect to the energy, a signature of Mother Earth's energy to connect directly to Mother Earth. Tell her you love her. You're telling your body you love her. The waters of your body. Tell your water you love it. And it's telling you it loves it. It gives right back to you. But you're also telling all these organic souls that are so lost right now that don't know their supernova soul, they don't know what's going on, but they can feel the energy of loving connection by our vigilant loving connection, because we're all connected. In supernovas, we're really connected. We have gone through we're so unique and individual, have so many experiences, and it's so fun to get to know each other with so much we have inside of us. But we've also gone through very similar things. And so by looking at these stories, this can all be revealed. So we'll be doing that with group intuitive sessions for the eclipses to celebrate and to tap into that wisdom. It's so powerful for us to get together. And this is the thing I've asked moms, like, how do we do it? Like, what do you want us to do? And she says, just dance and sing and play, get together at these sacred locations and dance and sing and play. But there's been so much resistance to this. And so that we know that supernova souls have been trying to come back together, but this fear programming and the blockage and the targeting is just been overwhelming. And we've been just running in survival mode. Most supernova souls just getting through to the next thing while you're trying to hold this vision for the whole world, but it is the key. This Libra kite says the absolute key is when we work together. That's why we have to have the ego death. We have to see the other side. We have to be like, oh God, this is, and so it's playing out with the masculine and feminine archetypes within us and in our world. A blooming of the distortions in order to be healed, so that we can have that scalar wave, the perfect opposite, the perfect balance of opposites. And that's where we create the energy. But coming together as supernova souls, it's like there's this energy. If we just get enough of us together at one place, very powerful place, it's over. We've claimed back Earth completely, and yet we just haven't been able to really pull it off. And so I hope you'll consider joining the Supernova Retreat. It's a Supernova Water Festival retreat. It's all about talking to the waters, and what a great place to do it in Hot Springs, Montana. The hot springs in Hot Springs, Montana are some of the highest mineral content in the world. So incredibly healing. The motto of the town is limp in, leap out. And so this is a time of regeneration and healing. But those hot springs water come right up out of the ground of the belly of the earth, what we call primary water. The primary water is in the earth. They've tricked us into thinking that the water comes from the sky. And we have to ask this, where does the water come from? And it comes from deep inside the earth, the primary water. And if we're connected to the earth and the water of the consciousness of earth and the primary water, we can ask it to come up. The primary water system that they don't want us to know about is actually what fuels the water of the atmospheric water system. There is no shortage ever of water. It's completely contrived. Mother Earth can also drink up any excess of water, but only if we start to talk to her. We can only survive this time if we are in communication with her. And so we walk forth on this path. And what a great way to have a gathering, a supernova gathering with a little water festival where we can invite the community to come into this high vibrational space, dance and sing and play, do ceremony exactly at the time of the equinox, and have beautiful music and dance to together, and celebrate the creative power within us, as well as learn from water consciousness experts. Learn about this primary water. Learn about what we've learned about how to connect with the water, with our consciousness, and the technologies that are available to solve all the problems of the world. And so the thing about working with water consciousness is that Dr. Emoto showed us that water is consciousness. He showed us that when we put our consciousness, thoughts, energies, emotions into water, it reflects that. It always responds. So if water is consciousness and we want to heal the waters of the earth and heal the waters of our body and come into the connection of consciousness with the waters of the earth and our body, then we better work on a consciousness level, and that's us supernova souls. It's not easy to come back into the concept of mother because most of us are broken inside and disconnected from the earth. Most of us can't even conceive of a God that could really be there for us. And that's the atmospheric water system. It's like praying to a false god for rain, when really we want to talk to mom and invite her to be with us on this journey for the optimal experience. And it works. It's more powerful than any of those weather modification technologies. Our consciousness. So it's so powerful, this work. And so the supernova retreat allows the supernova souls to come together and hold space for the people to come together for this equinox ceremony and finally come together and do this activation ceremony. You know, I did a music festival in 2014 and still recovering from that because the energies are working against this so much of this activation. But now, just now with Mercury direct, it's like we've been given full permission. And so I invite you to join us for the Supernova Water Festival retreat, or if you would like to offer a donation to support a scholarship for another supernova soul, so we can get the core group of supernova souls there to hold space. And I know you will be from a distance too. We'll be doing some live streaming of the event, but to hold space so that we can do this beautiful work, you know. And it's like we have, every time we go and try to do something beautiful in the world, the forces of control come along and punish us and ruin it, infiltrate every spiritual organization, you know. But this is why supernova souls have taken so long to grow and come together, because we're pure and we purify just by being together. And it is such an amazing experience to be in a group of supernova souls because there are no pretenses. And everybody has compassion and understanding to really listen to each other. Amazing healing and information, wisdom and power. And we speak the same language. We finish each other's sentences. And so I say, invitation to come and be here, be present, to lift the curse and to release Mother Earth in her advanced technologies, our advanced technologies, to lift up into this beautiful new earth. This is sacred and powerful work. It takes bravery and courage. And anytime you do a session or come to the activation and show up and do this level of work or come to this event, it's a way to really show up as a supernova soul. And this is what we saw in the last activation, that the Aquarius full moon activation, it was like we were showing up, really feeling each other, and we had a kind of like a circle, like an amulet, and kind of like we're accounted for. It's like we're here. You're a part of a group, a very important group, and you're so connected. And it's been so sad to be apart for so long. but you're accounted for now. We're all here and we're showing up. And so are you ready to be accounted for in your wealth and your power? You got to handle it first and be comfortable, you know? But we are coming together. And so it's just so intense and so powerful. Remember that the energies of darkness are a bloom of the darkness, a bloom of the disease. Our bodies are going through huge physical healing with these energies increasing because it's naturally defragmenting and deep unprogramming the nanotech in our body. And so we're gradually coming back online as we say yes, as we heal, as we grow our field, as we do the work, as we love Mother Earth, keep breathing and loving and visualizing. Don't let go of that vision because that's the string that kept us. And now we're going to fly the kite. So hold on for the magic carpet ride. 3 kites, click your heels 3 times. We're going home. And I'm so glad we're here together. I'm so glad we found each other. Thank you so much for your support. If you appreciate this messages and this ad-free space, I am taking donations. There's a link to offer donation in the information box below, and please consider I'm offering a limited number of individual sessions and also really powerful classes, the goddess activation, owning your energetic field, and also invitation coming to these activations and to this in-person retreat. Thank you so much, SuperNova Soul. You are such a badass, and I cannot wait to see what this world looks like as we move forward in expressing this potential within us, the true wealth of the world. So the wealth being returned to the world, first we know it's energy, then it's physical. The wealth being returned to the world is whole and complete, healed healers, visionary leaders to take us into the future. So now is a time where you have to really take care of yourself as the precious, most beautiful thing. Because what if today all your haters, you've got the haters, and tomorrow they're lovers. They want to follow you. They want to work with you. They want to be on the project. They want to be a part of the energy that you're creating. That's the only way it can go. So stand strong, stand true, keep loving, keep breathing, reach into the power, that compassion within you. You got this. I love you so much. I hope you can feel us and feel each other. Just reach out and send support to the SuperNova tribe too. We're all going through it, man. Teeter on the edge of reality, going from running in scarcity survival mode to landing home. Virgo, the sun in Virgo on the 22nd, Mercury moves into Virgo on September 3rd. And so it's time to ground out, heal, and get to work. Clean it up and get to work. Get organized. This is preparation. Stop messing around. Everything you thought about the bigger life that's waiting for you is absolutely true, except for you haven't been able to accept it and the abundance, right? The treasure. We must accept it within us before we can walk forward as the treasure of this world. You have done so much for this world, and yet you haven't even started bringing forward what you have. Really. Glorious times lay ahead. And it all has to do with the sovereignty of Earth and our field. And so I invite you to join that Virgo new moon activation. That's going to be the theme. It seems to be coming forward. Glorious sovereignty. So we are sovereign. We get our treasures back. We take back our gold. That's literally what we're doing. We the people are taking back our gold. And that's happening because you are willing to hold your energy sacred and develop your gifts. So very powerful, and I love to honor you with this sacred time together on the Virgo new moon activation, Friday, August 22nd, 10 a.m. Mountain Time. I hope to see you there. The information to sign up for that is below, and also more information about that SuperNova retreat. Let's hold space for this. We're moving into it. It's happening, teetering on the edge, and yet we can't, go back the other way. Really, there's nothing there. Maybe if we're going back into the dungeon of Pisces, it's just to go back to get the hidden treasure chest, to get the heart that was taken from the mother and buried, taken from her body, and put it back as we heal all of our hearts. Huge heart healing. in that Aquarius full moon activation, and great clearings with authority, those fear programs. So go get that replay if you want to be a good preparation for this Virgo new moon activation, because it seems like at 0 degrees Virgo, we have an opportunity for rebirth. Our planet and our body, our soul, our consciousness. So thank you so much for being there. And the Supernova Soul Tribe is a great way to not miss an activation. It's $20 a month. So you're getting 50% off on the activations, 2 new moon and full moon activations. So I would love to have you sign up for that Supernova Soul Tribe membership. Never miss an activation. And even if you don't go to the activation or you don't make it or whatever, you're signed up and you're energetically can receive all those messages and information. But those people that are brave and can take the time and set aside to do the work at the activation, either live or on the replay, is so supportive to all of us. So thank you so much for your time and energy and your devotion to this work. We're all working on the same thing. It's the mother's work. We've done it lifetime after lifetime, and we've been on the run, persecuted, punished, and hazed left and right, and now we stand as the glorious light that she is, you know? Um, it's so beautiful. So thank you so much for being with me and her and representing this love in the world. You're amazing. So I look forward to hopefully seeing you Friday at that Virgo new moon activation or on the next update. Thank you so much for your support. I look forward to seeing you soon. Until then, I'm Adrienne Elise. Namaste.